and callers.
Welcome to Source of Information, the station where you could get your information regarding anything that has to do with Social Security, benefits, Medicare, and a lot of other benefits. We're going to discuss survival benefits right about now, but what I want to do is I want to give you guys the opportunity to grab a pen and paper so you could take some notes if you can. In the event that you cannot, what I want to let you know that we are streaming live right now on 1580 WSRF AM on YouTube and also on Facebook. So, in the event that this particular show, you didn't get it, you didn't have a chance to record it, then you could request that information from me on my WhatsApp account, or I could even message it, send it to you via message. So you have an option, and now we see that we want to ask the studio to turn on if you listen to me, JS, just turn on, seems like there's a portion of the video that's not showing. So, well, let's get started. Like I said, we're going to talk about survival benefits. What is survival benefits? Survival benefits is a benefits that is created that you actually paid for during your work, during the time that you've been working and paying into the system. And what I mean by the system, I'm talking about Social Security benefits. You know something? Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take a break to make sure everything back. We had some technical difficulties, so we want to make sure that you are getting this live at this present moment, both on Facebook and also streaming live on YouTube. Okay, survival benefits. What is survival benefits? It's a benefits that while you're working, there's a portion that when you contribute into Social Security that goes in for survival benefits. The more research that I've done regarding survival benefits, the more interesting that it becomes to me. For example, your family members, let me put on my glasses so I could see. Your family members may receive survival benefits if you die. Now, if you are working paying into Social Security, some of those taxes you pay are survival benefits. So your spouse, children, and parents could be eligible for benefits based on your earning. Okay? Now, who qualify for survival benefits? A surviving spouse, age of 60 or older, or age 50 or older if they have a disability. Also, a surviving divorced spouse may be eligible for survival benefits. Now, under certain circumstances, surviving spouse at any age who is caring for the deceased child who is under the age of 16 or has a disability and receiving child's benefit. Now, the typical amount that a survival benefits may receive, this is based on the 2023 amount. For an age widower, it's $1,845. If you are a young widow with child in care, you will receive approximately about $1,372. And if you're a disabled widower, you will receive about $1,033. Now, spousal benefits are capped at 50% That's spousal benefits. Spousal benefits, you hear us talk about that a lot. But survival benefit is set at 100% of the deceased worker's benefit. So that for me, that was something that additional that when I discovered that, and um, I was that was the big difference. So you're getting for survival benefits, you get 100% of the deceased worker's benefits. Now, the question is, how long will that last? How long will you be getting survival benefits for? Well, you will be getting it for life. It doesn't stop. You will continue to receive it. You get instant access to members only product. Well, that's well, let's go there. These benefits are payable for life unless the spouse begin collecting a retirement benefits that is greater than the survival benefits. I think I said that yesterday in yesterday's program. I mentioned that. Um, so it seems like everything about Social Security income or benefits, they basically mirror one another. So again, you will receive survival benefits for life. However, the difference is that yes, it's payable for life. However, if your benefits, if you begin collecting retirement benefits and your retirement benefits is greater than the survival benefits, then they will discontinue the survival benefits and give you your benefits that you worked on. Now, does everyone get survival benefits? Well, a surviving spouse, a surviving divorced spouse, an unmarried child, or a dependent parent may be eligible for monthly survival benefit based on the deceased worker's earning. Now, um, those are the people that's eligible for receiving survival benefits. Some of the question that you will probably, that I probably will hear, what is the difference between survival benefits and Social Security benefits? Well, retirement benefits increase if you pass full retirement age to file, but survivor benefits do not. And here's the reason why. Remember, well, I'm gonna go under the assumption that you were not listening to the show yesterday morning. We mentioned that they don't do retroactive when it comes down to survival benefits. Whereas your retirement benefits, if you decided to take it at the age of 70, well, that your amount that you would normally be receiving at for retirement will increase. Survival benefit, it does not increase. What you were supposed to receive at the time, it will be that amount, and it will not increase. Now, where it's not, and I think where it's not, they have not discussed this part here, whether that they will do a cost of living adjustment on it. We have not gotten into it, and that's something that I'm going to dive deeper into it to find out if that is the case, making sure that's the case. But the main difference there is that survival benefits is not retroactive. Retirement benefits is. And I've been in a situation where as I've gone to the Social Security benefits, Social Security office with an individual, and what they did was go back and make sure that they get their full benefits, and whether it's in a form of giving them a large first payment and then continue to give them their monthly payments. So that's good to know. Now, the interesting part is that how long does it take to get approved for survival benefits? As we're talking, we're not taking the time. How long does it take to get retirement benefits, to get approved for these benefits? Now, retirement benefits takes about 6 weeks. Disability take about 3 to 5 months. Survival benefits take about 2 to 3 months. Now, since we're on survival benefits, my guess is the reason it's going to take that long, 2 to 3 months, is simply because, remember, they have to do their due diligence to make sure that this person is no longer with us. And the way they will get that a death certificate from the funeral home, and you'll have to go to the Social Security office and present the death certificate, present your marriage certificate. Those are the documents that you're going to need, or for a child, the birth certificate. 954, 305 945 1580. 305 945 1580. If you have any question, I hope to hear from you regarding that. In fact, what I'm going to do is probably reserve the second half so you could call. But, we're not going to restrict you to the second half. What we're going to do is allow you to call now, right now, and we'll take your call. So survival benefits take 2 to 3 months. The reason that I'm providing you with that information is that right away, as soon that you're able, when you receive that, when you after this person, I guess after you've done with after you bury that particular individual, then you could start concentrating on those things, because immediately afterward, you need to get started on applying for survivor benefits so you could start receiving those benefits. Now, how does a spouse qualify for survival benefits? In most cases, a widower qualify for survival benefits if he or she is at least 60 and been married to the deceased for at least 9 months at the time of death. Now, let me repeat that, because for me, that was also another thing that I was surprised by. I think we have a call, maybe. Hello, you on the air.
Hello, this message is for all business.
That's not the number we were looking for. I am taking if you, let me give you the phone number to call once again, 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. So, a spouse that's qualified for survival benefits, again, I'm going to repeat it. In most cases, a widow or widower qualified for survival benefits if he or she is at least 60 and had been married to the deceased for at least 9 months at the time of death. That's very interesting. And and that, by the way, that's the same thing for spousal benefits. Also, if you have the child is receiving benefits, and the mother could also receive the benefits as long as there's a year of marriage. So you see, there's that difference in spousal benefits just there alone, and that's very interesting. Now, in terms of, remember earlier we mentioned the percentage of the income that the wife will get. The wife will definitely get 100% when it comes down to survival benefits. I really would like to hear from you guys regarding that and what you think. And this information is not the type of information that's readily available to most of you guys. And I know that because if I was Benjamin Crump that made a comment on his Twitter feed that pushed me to go and do more research on survival benefits. And, I was talking to a friend yesterday, And this is a person that has been in the business for quite some time. And a lot of us that's been in the business, we don't have the knowledge. You know, we sat in a class for a week, and the time that we sat in the class, you know, you just concentrate on trying to get a license to work. But the information afterward, all the information doesn't stick to you. Actually, you hardly use it. For me, I was blessed because there was a lady that really taught a class, and that was for an insurance company. So some of those information, did I retain them? In fact, at the time, I found it very difficult. Very difficult. The information was very difficult to retain. So I didn't, to be honest with you. And hopefully, Ilya, call me on 305 1580. Call me on 305 1580 if you have a question for me. And I'll be able to take your call live on the air, my friend. We would like to hear from you. 305 1580, and we are discussing survival benefits. Um, wow, okay. So we are discussing survival benefits. Yeah. So with that particular individual, when I spoke with her yesterday, and she had to go back and recertify because she had, just like I did, let my license expired, and afterward I was like, I'm not going to use it. Why even bother? So, but I continue to do research, um, and read more about Social Security, read more about the benefits, and that's how I end up in the position where I'm at right now today. So because of that, it was for me, actually, when she went back, and what she was telling me is that those information that you are getting, and what we've done is basically dilute that information. We really dilute that information for you, so that you're receiving the type of information that you're receiving. It's it's a way that you could understand it. Unlike um, unlike when if I were to go in a class right now and they hand you a book, and once you going over that book, the legally words that they're throwing at you, it's designed to confuse you. And we went over survival benefits, and the way we went over survival benefits is we had the opportunity to break it down for you and explain to you these are the benefits that you're eligible to. Now, most of the benefits, well, this particular benefits in particular, a vast majority of people are not aware of their existence. And that's why we are taking the time this week, this entire week, we're devoting it to survival benefits. We're going to continue to talk about survival benefits, and maybe in weeks to come, we'll dedicate a particular show just talking about survival benefits. Listen, there's one thing about these benefits that we all have in common, is that we all are paying into it. And so a lot of us, when we have a deceased parent or family member, and when that happens, is that we basically we basically just not in a frame of mind to just, especially if we didn't have the information. So we're not in the frame of mind to go search for information. But if that information is sitting there, we're already aware of it, then we could, at one point, once we finally settle down, then we could go to the Social Security Bureau and say, I would like to file for survival benefits. Now, That's why I took the time to let you know that who is who is eligible to receive their benefits. You know, I think I'm going to take a break. When I come back, what I want to do is go over that information with you in case you don't have that information, so that um, we make sure that this is information that you become familiar with it, just like I have. And interesting. I had a gentleman in an office yesterday, and he told me that what he does is double check every information that I give. So I would like for you to do that and come back here and share. Let's go over that information again. And meanwhile, that we will welcome that you call, and anybody who calls, we will stop and answer your questions. What is survival benefits? Survival benefits, it's a benefits that is designed to take care of family members that um, a deceased person left behind, providing that they have contributed enough into that Social Security benefits. Now, your family members may receive survival benefits if you die. If you are working and paying into Social Security, some of those taxes that you paid for survival benefits, the result is that your spouse, children, and parents that could be eligible for benefits based on your earning. Now, the person that's eligible to receive survival benefits are a surviving spouse, the age of 60 or older, or age of 50 or older if they have a disability. Now, surviving divorced spouse under certain circumstance. Now, I guarantee you, a surviving divorced spouse, if they have not remarried, then they will receive the survival benefits. But if they have remarried, they will not receive it. Although I have not gone dive further into that, if I research about remarried surviving spouse, it will say exactly what I just told you, because everything that we have here on survivor benefits, it mirror what spousal benefits, the benefits of a spousal benefits, with a few exceptions. And the few exceptions that I have not really seen, well, the few exception is they give in terms of newlywed 9 months, 9 months, whereas for a spousal it's a year. So also a surviving spouse at any age who is caring for the deceased child who is under the age 16 or has ability in receiving child's benefits. Now, of course, you hear me a lot of time talk about child's benefit, where we encourage you to that money, set it aside. Now, I know if it's a child with disability, you're going to need that extra income to continue caring for that individual. But if it's not a child with disability, of course, yes, you're going to need money for certain care. But more importantly, I would like to see you guys dedicate that money that comes in and put it in a separate account and allow it to grow for that child when they get to that age. Because especially if moms or dad is no longer around, so when they get at that age where they go into college, they're going to need that extra income, and that would come very handy. So I always that's the only area which I really emphasize I put my 2 cents in there, because having children that went to college, and as a parent, I remember the first time I said in it was for my daughters as she was going when she was going to college, and I sat there with all those parents in a room, and my question is, I was sitting there with a lot of fears. How am I going to continue paying that tuition to make sure that she has food to eat, um, her books are paid for, and well, God will provide. And I was able to do it. The 4 years in Rhode Island, and the 2 years with the masters, and now we have a second one that's going to UCF for a master's. So it's costly, and so that's why I put my 2 cents there to encourage you guys to do this, so that down the line that you're not facing with the possibility not able to send to tell your child that no, you can't go to college because I can't afford it. But with especially a single parent. So having said that, so we discussed the average monthly benefits that you're going to receive. We discussed that for an age widower is $1,845 a month. Okay, for a young widow with with child and care is 1,372. For a disabled widower is 1,033. Now we say special benefits are capped at 50%. This is one of the difference, because a spousal benefits they give you 50%, where survival benefits you get 100% of the spouse work benefits. So it does not decrease. Okay, and you receive it for life. Now the only exception is unless the spouse begin to collecting retirement benefits, and the retirement benefits is higher than the survival benefits. So that's when they will, instead of you getting the survival benefits, they'll discontinue the survival benefits, and you will get your benefits under your own credit. Now, does everyone get survival benefits? Only a surviving spouse or surviving divorced spouse, unmarried child, or dependent parent may be eligible for monthly survival benefit based on the deceased worker's earning. Now, these are some of the, I'm being repetitive because this is how important I think this is. So I'm going over that information for you guys. And you're welcome at any moment to call 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. You're welcome to call. If you call in Creole, I'll answer you in Creole and translate for our English listeners. So either way, call now. So what is the difference between survival benefits and Social Security benefits? Retirement benefits increase if you wait past full retirement age to file, but survival benefits do not. I'm going to take the first call right now. Hello, you on the air.
Hello?
Hello, yes, you on the air.
Hi, how are you, Gilbert?
Hi.
I have a question.
Okay.
The question is, how many hours should you work for you to to get your full retirement? I mean, how many hours may you work to get your full retirement SSA? Please answer me.
Okay, so you need 40 quarters. 40 quarters, each quarter, 40 quarters is, each quarter is basically a year of work. So if you work a total of a full year, then you achieve a quarter. So that's why you have to work a total of 10 years so you could achieve that 40 quarters that they requested. Now, in certain circumstances, for example, I've met a lot of people in the past that has worked 2 jobs. And if they're earning income from those 2 jobs, what happened now, instead of 10 years, now it reduced to 5 years. Now, your question was how many hours? Um, I would have to take the 40 hours a week, um, times it by 52, times it by um, 5, or in this case 10 years, to give you an exact number in terms of hours. But in general, it's 10 years of working full time for you to achieve the 40 quarters a year. Okay. Hope I did answer that for you. If in the event that I did make it clear enough, please call me back. 954 305 945 1580. 305 945 1580. Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. So retirement benefits increase if you wait past full retirement age to file, but survival benefit do not. That's the difference between the two. And by the way, most of this question I'm going over is a question that I know that you would be you probably would inquire about. So I'm being proactive while we have the time. And when we talk about how long it will take, and these are questions that I normally get. How long will it take? And normally, the way I respond is that once we send the application in, then we are at their mercy, because you have to keep in mind that there's a lot of application coming in, and all those applications, there's certain process that they have to go through. So retirement benefits takes about 6 weeks. And here's a point. That's why we said to apply for retirement benefits 3 months ahead. If it's going to take 6 weeks for you to get your benefits, you want to make sure that everything is in place so that you could be eligible the first day of the month of your birthday. So disability benefits take 3 to 5 months, but survival benefits takes 2 to 3 months. That's what we're discussing today. So that's why we emphasize on that. 2 to 3 months. So you see, by the way, this survival benefits, that's you. The way you will get paid is on a monthly basis. They will deposit that. We're not going to go into any other way that you could get paid, but we know that on a regular basis, every month they will deposit on a particular date in your account. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Listen, I encourage you guys to go on YouTube and type WSRF 1580. Yep, there it is right there. I'm going to move my head a little bit, so you could see it. Right there, WSRF 1580 AM. Share it with a friend. If you go on YouTube, what I would like for you to do is, there's a black button in the bottom, subscribe. When you subscribe to it, every time that I'm on the air, automatically you will receive this show and everything that we are discussing in that particular day. Okay, so that's why we encourage you to subscribe, and you could actually same process. You could actually watch us. We are streaming live on Facebook right now also, so it's vitally important for you to do that, and also that's going to help us get an idea of who's listening, who's appreciating the type of information that we send for you. And post your comment. I would like to hear from you guys. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you find that information useful. You could always call me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. And if you haven't, you could send me a message. Tell me if you like this information. This is, for me, I believe this is very useful. Because now, if something were to happen to me, now, although my kids are past the age where they would be eligible for receiving survival benefits. But down the line, my spouse could receive 100% as soon as she hit 60, she could receive 100% of my benefits, not 50%. So whatever that I was supposed to receive. Now, there's a caveat. I don't know whether it's the full retirement amount. Probably it's the full retirement amount. But nevertheless, at age of 60, if she's receiving the full retirement amount, well, so far I think she'll be in a much better place. Now, there's other question that, as I'm saying this, that come to mind. Is there going to be a limitation if she's receiving survival benefits, and is that going to restrict her from working? That is a question that, as there's a lot of questions that's coming to my mind as we're doing this, and we're going to do more research about that, and we're going to come back and bring that information to you regarding that, because that is very important to know that are you going to have any income restriction? Can you work if you're receiving survival benefits? And if they said yes, you could work, is there an income limit that you could make that will prevent you from, or unlike if it's a retirement where they will, if you exceed the amount that you should be making, whether they're going to hold back any money. And so far, there's no indication that they will do that, because all the question, throughout my reading, there's no indication that they will hold back money from you if you're receiving survival benefits. But we're going to continue diving in that information and continue to bring it to you and make sure that you are well informed. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Let me hear from you guys. Come on. I really would like to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this benefit. This is for our English listeners. And, I will be talking about this in Creole for those of you that are listening that's saying, well, my English is not that good. I don't understand English that well. Well, listen, stay tuned. We will be talking about that in Creole also. But those of you guys that's listening to me right now in English, I want to hear from you guys, okay? Remember, earlier you probably see me getting a shot of espresso. Well, when I hear from you, it's worth at least 100% shot of more shot than that one shot that I received. So it's what keeps me going. So if you need to keep me going, keep me in charge, that's what you need to do. So let me hear from you, 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. So for the rest of the time, let's talk about Medicare. One of the things that you see that here, it said that it takes about 6 weeks for your Medicare to be processed. And I'm glad they mentioned that here, because I've been telling everybody 3 months ahead, and most people, that has stuck into their head, because I get on a daily basis, at least I get 2 or 3 calls regarding that. And so it tells me that, yes, the job is being done. People are are listening to the information that we're providing, and they're putting it to use. So, and you see, when they tell you that it takes 6 months, so imagine if you decided, well, you're going to do this a month before you turn 65. Well, a month before you turn to 65, it's 4 weeks. So it's not enough. So the latest that time that you have is 2 months before. Now, we tell you do it 3 months before so that that 6 week will fall dead in the middle of the second month, and you have the rest of the time that's left for you to make sure that we apply for Medicaid for you so that we could apply for low income subsidies for you and so that we could enroll you in a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, I'm going to make sure that I share this particular after this show, and we're going to make sure that, yes, we differentiate the English version. I'm going to make sure that this time that my friend in New York, my friend in New Jersey, my friend in Philadelphia, there's this particular show, you receive that information, because I do not want to hear that some of my friends in New York do not have this information, or for me to get, let me see, whose name should I mention? For me to get a call from Matilda Knight's friends that you don't have that information. For me to hear that from my East 57 crew, you don't have that information. So I will make sure that every single one of you guys get that information. I'm going to take the time after I do the second show to make sure that you have it, because it is vitally important. And you don't want to be caught dead without it. So having said that, so let's continue with the Medicare. Now, remember that with Medicare, if you don't put in that application at the age of 65, then you're going to be penalized 10% of your monthly Social Security income. Let me put it in a different fashion so that it could sink in and you could understand the importance of doing it. Now, I take it very personal because right now, a lot of my friends, okay, have either are there or getting close to that time. So that's why I want to make sure, and that's one of the main reasons that, to be honest with you, that I decided to do this particular show in English. Because one, I want to cast my net wide, if that's the proper terminology, or cast a wide net so that we could grab more people. But more importantly, is because that I realize that a lot of you do not have that information. A lot of you are about to go on retirement. A lot of you are on disability, and yet there's certain information you don't have. So by bringing this show and explain to you in layman terms these benefits, then you'll have a more appreciation of what you have, and you know how to utilize it best. You're welcome to call me anytime, 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. And if you're getting that in your inbox, like I said, open it, make sure you subscribe, and most importantly, share it with a friend. On your Facebook page, share it. There's nothing better that you could do is sharing that information, because you don't know, you may have a friend that right now that they have a spouse that's very close to that time, very close to that time where God's going to call them. So you want to make sure that you have that information. God forbid that time's come and you could utilize it. And more important, like I said, share it with a friend to make sure that your friend have that information also. And they could at any time review that information that I have provided to you guys. And you could also fact check me. I always welcome that. I always welcome when people come on the air and say, well, Gilbert, you provide this information, This is our expense. Listen, when I first came out and talking about survival benefits, there was a lady that called in the air, and she was telling me that she's receiving survival benefits, but no, actually, she told me that she called to receive survival benefits. They didn't give it to her, but they gave it to her children. But they told her that when she reached the age of 60, that's when she would receive it. And that caused me now to go do a deeper dive, and we find out not only that it's the age of 60, yes, that's true, but 50 if you're on disability. So we need for you to, I need for you to make this show, this information to go viral. I need for you to share it with so many friends. Like I'm going to share it with you guys after this. I need for you to share it with so many friends right now on Facebook. Share it with so many people so that I start getting complaints from the executive on this side. I need for you to, thank you, someone is sharing it right now. Thank you, Ilya, for sharing it. Okay, so I need for you guys to go on right now and share it. Share it with a friend. Share it in a group. This is important information that you're getting. And you're getting it for free. So why keep it to yourself? Share it. Continue to share it. It's very important. Survival benefits is very important. Time is short. And I just did the same thing. I shared with everyone that's on my Facebook page. And I'm going to even take it further. Afterward, I will make sure that all my friends in New York, my Tilden Night, the group that I went to high school with, I want to make sure you guys have this information. Whether I'm in a group and the people in Atlanta, I want to make sure I share that information with you so that you are prepared. And at any time, again, you could call me, 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885, and let me know what you think about this information. All right? I'm looking at the time. We have about 3 minutes left. Then we're going to be switching over to the second show. The second show is going to be in Creole, but we'll have a guest, our weekly guest, which is Dr. Joan Semilis, that's going to talk. I think we're going to talk about the different side effect from prescribed medication. So you're welcome to stick around, listen to this in English, and yes, share it. Share the information. Information is power, and if you have the information, then you'll know how to proceed. You could, if right now you may be facing a similar situation, and now, okay, I'm going to be able to get benefits from my spouse, for my children, or for me, for myself, based on his working contribution. Because that's something that's there. Every time that you work, they take a portion off of it and set aside for just that. In fact, now that I'm thinking about this, a lot of people that had asked me that question before, and I didn't have an answer for them. So many people that says, well, I'm going to work until I'm going to take my benefits early because I don't know if I died, my family's not going to get it. No, we have an answer for you. If you were to die right now, then your wife, even if you marry with that person 9 months into the marriage, then they will be able to get survival benefits. And if you have a wife that was divorced, their wife or husband will be able to receive benefits based on your record of work. Well, it was a pleasure for me to be here with you guys today. Again, I recommend that this show. I was excited coming down here after I did the research earlier. I was very excited to come in here to share this information for you with you. So again, you guys could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. You see this beautiful lady that just come? That's my sign to set aside, let us set up, and I will see you guys shortly. Again, 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. See you guys next time. Don't forget to share this information.